Hey everybody, it's me, Danny. I'm fighting a cold, and I've got a horrible sore throat, but it's not going to stop me from recording a video for you. A blindfold battle video, to be exact, actually, because trying to get ready for my next match against Jan Ludvig Hammer, who, he may seem like a real sweet, curly-haired Norwegian to the rest of you, but to me, he's like a vicious, trash-talking tiger. He trash talks a lot on Skype and other places, and I want to be a little more ready. Plus, I'm preparing for this Blitz death match against Trent, where most people don't give me a chance. Against Lawrence Trent? You guys don't even give me a chance against Lawrence Trent? What the bleep is wrong with you? Anyway, I'd like to do some calculation training if that's okay with the rest of you. I'd also like to bend my back and crack it. Maybe you heard that. All right, we're going to get started. We are going to play a few games. We're going to do some blindfold training. You should watch the whole video because you never know. Obviously, we have it set up. The screen capture is set up separately so that you at home can observe what I'm doing. I'm gonna play e4. I'm not exactly sure what my approach will be against Trent. So let's see. We have e4, knight f6, and Alekhine. So I'm gonna play e5. Knight goes to d5. I'll play d4. I actually just completed a 10-player blindfold simul in Mississippi at a small school. So he played c takes d6. That's going to put me in position to want to play knight c3 and bishop e3, g6, rook to c1. Didn't I just play bishop e3? Oh, I just played knight to c3. I was just jumping ahead, but it's the same line. So I need to follow the position. So we have a standard Al Johans right now, bishop g7, rook to c1. One of the reasons you bring the queen side out early in this structure is you want to be prepared for them advancing e5 so that you can capture on e5 and have this quick 3-on-2 on the queen side. You guys can see it better than me. So knight to f3. And what is the bishop to g4? So very common for them to go this way. They are, in some ways, if I play bishop e2, they can take f3, and I have to take with the pawn because c4 is hanging. And if I play h3, they take, and play knight to c6. They'll go after the d-pawn. So I don't exactly remember what my best approach is here after bishop to g4. I want to say that even c5 should be an option, along with even just playing bishop e2. I'm going to play bishop e2, and if he takes on f3, I'll take with the pawn willingly, creating a little bit of a weakness on the king side, but I have the bishop pair, and he decides not to do it. But now that he's played knight to c6, I'll go ahead and play b3, defend c4, with the intention that if he takes f3, I'll probably take with the bishop now. So now that he plays e5, I'm going to capture. And if he takes with the pawn, I will trade queens. I believe I played that right. Hopefully I took a queen and not a rook. So now I have rook, knight, pawns, bishop, bishop, knight, and then pawns and the regular pawns on the king side. So I have the 3-on-2 majority. But it's not that simple, obviously. One of the ideas is I can maybe take on b6 and then put the knight on d5. That should seem like a possibility here, given that I'm not really that worried about losing the bishop pair here. What's my time? 1 minute to 2 minutes. So that's one of the real problems with this whole blindfold scenario is the faster I get into a time scramble, the harder it's going to be for me to compete. Putin Warrior, I didn't even see this guy's username. Wow, that guy's exciting. Look at my voice crack. I feel like I'm back in puberty, everybody. Greg Brady, right? That's how I feel. Played rook to a8. Interesting. He wants to go after the a-pawn. I say nay. Nay, good sir. He plays e4. What's he going with that? I can just... Oh, he's attacking my knight, so I have to be very careful. I'm going to bring my knight back to d2. If he takes, I will pre-move taking back. He will get knight d4 checked, though, right? So I have to be very careful about that. I'd really like to avoid playing king back to f1 or e1. He plays bishop h6. I like that, because now I can actually bring my other rook over. He plays knight d4 check, but he's going to take. I didn't see that coming. He tricked me. Is there any kind of combination here? I will have knight f6 check at some point, but he's going to take. I'm going to go down the exchange. He takes a4. My knight's on d5. I wish there was something to that, like knight f6 check. But really, what I'm learning here is the difficulty of playing somebody when you're blindfolded and they're not, which Jan Ludwig said was going to be real hard. He did say that. He's always right. He's always right, that guy. So right now with a huge time disadvantage, and I think I'm just down the exchange. Wow, he just takes it? That seems a little unnecessary, although he'll probably just go on. Wait, there's no pawn on b7? There's a pawn on b6. Seems a little unnecessary for him to do that, but he's going to win anyway because I don't have the time. So let's go ahead and bring up the pieces so that we can review the game quickly, just to see what happened. So I had a traditional Alekhines, and I think that for the most part I was on track, played the position pretty well. I don't even know that this is really that bad for me, although it is pretty risky to give up the dark square bishop. You know, something like knight to b5 and even castles, because he's not actually threatening e4 as long as my knight is here. Might have been just as good, maybe better. But I don't think that what I played was really bad outside, you know, up until here, where I blundered the exchange. Really, the biggest mistake was my time management. But if I had played something like knight f6 check and then take here, I actually think I'm doing just fine. He does have f5 in some of those positions, though, so I need to be careful. A passive move like knight e3 is possible. The other move is knight takes b6, but then again he has knight d4 check, takes here, and then takes b3. So, you know, he definitely gets credit for creating some awkward tension, and the tactics were even harder for me to handle in a blindfold setting. So interesting stuff. It makes me regret giving up the dark square bishop, sort of underestimating the potential weaknesses I would have on the dark squares here, honestly. So I think knight to b5, I think just getting castled, those are moves that I would have played if I had been given another chance. Speaking of another chance, let's do it again. I'm going to send this guy a rematch, switch my pieces back to blindfold. You all get to continue following with the pieces from the blindfold account I created just to follow me and capture the screen. He doesn't want any more of this. Okay. I will seek another 3-minute game. Jan Ludwig did challenge me to play Blindfold Bullet, which I wasn't up to yet. Okay, so e4, b6, d4, bishop b7, bishop d3, knight f6. That's right, I forgot I was going to improve the recording by capturing the notation for everybody. But I forgot to do that here. So I castled early. I don't know if it's, you know, the best thing to do, but 'tis done, right? Let's play knight to d2. Perhaps try to bring... Ooh, he's going to play c4. That doesn't seem like a very good idea. He's playing very fast, but I'm also going to make an effort to play faster than I did last time, relocating my knight to the king's side. If he wants to play there, I'll take it, and I will trade on a8. He takes it. He still hasn't castled, though, has he? I'll bring my knight up to g3. Very interesting to see his long-term neglect of castling, and now he just plays g6 like he doesn't care, right? He's gone honey badger on the king side. Well, I'm gonna hopefully make him live to regret that decision. Wow, he plays h6. He doesn't even care. So I'll go ahead and play h5. He's going to play g5, and I'm going to relocate my knight to g4, where it can head into f6. Maybe I can bring my rook back to f1 and then play for f4. Bishop, pawn, 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 bishop, bishop, queen. So he plays b3. If I play there, he's going to play queen a1. I see. which is funny because if he takes b1, I almost might have a discovery, right? If bishop back, queen in, I can develop my bishop on c1 and my queen guards b2, right? Yeah, my queen guards b2. So I can bring this bishop to e3, I think. Hopefully I'm calculating the position accurately. He plays king d8. He's avoiding me moving my bishop on b1 with any kind of tempo. Although, can I go to g6 and then hit f7? That's a move I didn't see. I just brought my knight to g4, which I think is also okay. He's going to play knight to b6. Is there a defense of f7? I don't see a defense of f7. I feel like I'm seeing the position pretty clearly here. He's going to back up the queen. And I'm going to... Oh, he can go to a7. And is the 7th rank blocked? It is blocked. There's a bishop on e7. So he goes there, and I'm going to take on f7. He might consider bringing the knight into a4. With the king on d7, knight f6 check seems like an idea. I have to really focus here. Oh wait, no, my bishop's on e3. If knight f6 check takes. So I need to bring my bishop back to c1 so that I'm threatening to play. He plays knight to d8. If I play knight f6 check takes, he can't actually take my bishop on f7. I'm going to pre-move capturing. Because if he takes f7, I have... Oh, he didn't. He runs. I have knight e8 check, don't I? I do, but... I'm really losing the position here, and this is when it's going to get really dangerous. So he plays knight f4, but there's no threat. My knight's on f3. Very difficult here to see the right idea. I'm going to play f4. I feel like I need to open up the position. Oh wait, yeah, no, of course, my knight's not on f3. It's on... And I can't go to h5 because I have my own pawn there. So you see, I'm obviously forgetting the position. And he's like, why is this guy taking so much time in a winning position? That's what he's thinking. It'd be interesting to see where my visualization skills were falling short after the game, if I do end up losing again. He plays bishop to c6. There's no future for him. King to b6. I don't even care. I'm going to bring the other knight into g4. I really don't know the position, and I'm losing on time. Let's switch back to normal pieces and see if I can win with 9 seconds. Which I'm sure I can't do. I mean, I'm winning, but I didn't have the time. Oh wow, that's a nice little trick by him. Especially with only a few seconds on my clock. Obviously, you can see the competitor in me kicks in when it gets close, and I don't want to lose. I almost won. Oh man, so that was tough. So where did I really start to struggle in how I was viewing the position? That's the thing to try to figure out afterwards. So we played, and one of the rules to playing blindfold chess, and something that I told the kids at the school in Mississippi, are actually some of the parents who asked, is one of the things that allows you to play a blindfold simul and to really calculate at a high level when you're visualizing the entire game, not just a combination, right? Playing blindfold, is that every time you come back to the position, at least this is how I built the muscles, is I'm even if I'm making only one move, I'm constantly doing a restock of the position. I'm reminding myself of what the opening was, reminding myself of the position we've reached. So I'm coming to a very clear visual path of where the position is before I make my move. And that discipline allows me to play a lot of boards where it seems like I'm making one move, but I'm really making an effort to recount the whole game every time. When you're not in a clock simul and you're playing blindfold, this is something obviously you have the ability to do, and it's one of the most important factors to you not losing your way so that you don't blunder and so you don't lose track of things. And in a blitz blindfold battle, it's just extremely difficult to do that, right? Because you don't have the option. I was very confident position here. I think that white is just much better at the opening here. This is really not a great plan for black. Possibly this h4 h5 thing, could be replaced by some sort of immediate infiltration into the dark squares. But you can't argue with the position I got. This was pretty good. I could have played bishop e6 right away, but still. I mean, okay, you look in a position where white was up a pawn, and at this point I still had a very clear idea of what the position was. Even up to here, I had this calculation, this combination I calculated, right, of takes, I queen takes e6. So if you remember, I was still seeing the game pretty well here, but what was happening at this point was that I was under a minute, and my opponent still had, I think, like a minute 40 seconds. So suddenly the game started to change from needing to play faster, and I started losing the position. I played f4, which isn't a bad idea to try to pry things open, but I took like 20 seconds on it, and I really didn't have a clear plan to go for a win, as evidenced by the fact that I got this position and then I brought the pieces back, right, and showed my weakness, right. I gave in to sin, gave in to the temptation, and it was not able to hold. But this is still really good practice, really good training for me. I'm going to do it again. I want to play at least one more before we call this blindfold battles a close. We'll see if this guy wants a rematch. They don't like to take rematches after they beat me. I don't know what the deal is with that. But okay, we're going to switch back to blindfold pieces and get going here. Looks like Hikaru was chatting with me on Skype. What's going on, Hikaru? No, nothing. Okay, good. All right. Ooh, a title player, candidate master, higher rated than me. I'm gonna play e4. This should be a real tough game. All right, blindfold. Let's see if I can beat the title player and redeem myself. Full focus here. E4, e4, e4. Come on, baby, make your move. See if I can redeem myself a little bit and have a successful blindfold game. Where's he at? Tarquinius. That sounds like a Greek. Sounds like a Greek hypocrite. Is that a thing? A Greek hypocrite? All right. I'm almost starting to dig my new raspy voice, right? It's sort of sultry and sexy. Right? Is this video getting you going? Is it getting you going? Right? Go on. Come on, you chess fans. Okay. Bishop g7, f4. This is a pierce that I know what I'm doing in. All I can say is I'm lucky I gained even just a little bit of time. This is all theory. D takes c5. Oh, wait. He took? Ooh, that's not accurate. I'm going to take and then castle long. And now I'm going to play e5. And I'm going to bring my knight into d5. He has knight h5. Oh, he didn't. Knight h5 is definitely better. You want to try to undermine the pawns at least. Now he's in big trouble because his king's on e8. He's lost the right to castle. His knight's not on h5 to try to undermine my dark square pawns, and he resigns. Wow. That was an unexpected quick win in a blindfold battle. And a quick win or not, I'm glad I was able to see it through. But this is a... switching back to these ugly alpha pieces instead of my favorite Neo set, just because it's the fastest one next to blindfold. But okay, the theory here is queen a5, threatening to take on e4 because of the pin on the knight to the king, and then bishop to d3. It goes queen a5, bishop d3, queen takes c5, knight e2, and Bob's your uncle. That's our theory. But here he just blundered this, because this position is, it shows you that, okay, not often you can blunder out of the opening and maybe lose the right to castle and work your way back from a worse position, right? But this is an opening that After blunders like that, you go quickly to almost a dead loss position, right? Even if he plays knight h5, he's still in massive trouble after this move, right? The king can't even castle to get out of here. There's threats like knight check and rook d8 mate, so it's a mess. It's a big old mess, and I guess I'm gonna play one more for you guys, right? I feel like we should play one more. In fact, now that we have a second, I'm gonna improve the the video here for all of you and capture the notation. We will do it. We will capture the notation so that you have the ability when I start, calculating the lines in my head. When I start calculating the lines in my head, and I'm talking about, what I see in the game, you can follow that alongside your views. So now I'm gonna minimize this again so that I'm not looking at the board that you all get to see, and I will change back the pieces to blindfold, and we will play one more 3-minute game, building up to good bullet blindfold sessions here. Should be fun. While you're here, why don't you go ahead and hit subscribe? Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it just for me. Now I'm making a weird voice even on top of my hoarse voice, which feels really, really good. All right. Does he want a rematch? No, he doesn't. Nobody ever wants rematches with me. What did I do to people? I don't even understand. But okay. Maybe I should play a blindfold tournament once a week, where I play in one of these tournaments going on chess.com like every hour. I would be the favorite, as a lot of other title players don't play. So I probably wouldn't go up against too many other international grandmasters, maybe some FIDE masters or candidate masters, but that might be good training to try to play a whole tournament blindfolded. Either way, let's get a game here. Come on, peeps. Still nobody taken. Nobody taken. All right, we have a user. I'm black now for the first time. d4, knight f6. Uh-oh. Am I going to get a bad connection? It's too bad. Come on, man. Fix your connection. I don't want to win on time. I want to play chess. All right. Maybe we have the potential of a Nimzo Indian here. Nope, we have a Queen's Indian or Blumenfeld. I play c5. I also play b6 and bishop b4 check and d5 in tournaments. But okay. Excuse me for my cold here. Takes and takes, and now d5. Knight c3, so we have officially transposed into a Panov Botvinnik Caro-Kann, bishop to b4. He takes, I'm going to take with the knight. This is all theory here. Bishop to d2, Rekharovka, Rekharovka. Slon c4, Kon c6. Rekharovka. Kon f6, fierce, d4, Ataka. Okay, bishop e3. I'm gonna play. Should I play b6? Is there any tactics on the c6 knight? I don't think so. That's the key. Whenever you play b6, the knight on c6 is vulnerable, and you don't want to miss it. So b6, a3, Slonia sim. Capturing on c3 was probably just as good, maybe even better actually. And then I could have played bishop e7 and rook c1 and played against the hanging pawns, because that bishop on c4 is really an awkward piece. Wow, he plays knight e5. That doesn't feel right. He wants to get rid of his isolated pawn, but if I take and play knight d5, we get a big old trade, right? So I'm not even going to do that. I'm just going to play rook c8. I feel like, again, maybe I should have just taken on c3, but okay, I'm not going to hold on to the passive. Takes e5 takes, trades queens, he takes. I have knight to g4 in that position, but that doesn't work very good. Takes e5 takes, knight d5, knight takes, bishop takes. We're just getting a real simplified, watered-down version of the position we're already in. So I'm going to play a6. See if he wants to take everything. He doesn't. Well, then I'm going to play b5 and expand a little bit. He could have maybe taken on c6 with the knight and then done something, because my a6 pawn might have been hanging in that line. But he didn't. So now he goes there. I'm going to play knight a5 and try to trade. I'm okay with trading minor pieces, but I'd like to keep that isolated pawn to attack. But once again, look at the time disadvantage. This is the problem. I have to really focus here. Knight takes, bishop takes, queen there, knight here. If he plays knight to c6, I'll just move the queen. To d1, knight to c4. If he takes it, I'm going to take with the rook. I'll move my queen. If he wants to take, I'll take. What's he going to do next? Looking at the notation, because it's easier than looking at these highlights. The highlights are useful, the yellow to red, but it's sometimes I want to make sure that my eyes saw the highlights correctly. Queen e2. Should I just take? No. Just bring the other rook to d8. I could have taken on e3. Bishop g5. I'll play h6. If he wants to take, I'll take. I assumed before it was rook f1, right? Yes, it was. Just want to make sure it wasn't rook. Okay, he plays there. There's tactics on c3 knight. I can take a3. I can also... All right, I'm going to go for it. Knight takes a3. Have his tactic where my rook is going to take on c3. If he takes it. Because the pawn on b2 is undefended. I think... Oh, no, he has knight e4. Knight e4, knight e4. Getting a tempo on my queen. Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, luckily he didn't see it either. He takes e6. Oh, but maybe this whole idea of mine wasn't very good anyway. I'm going to back up. I'm hoping that if he takes d8, I take and plays e7. No, he just takes it, which is better for me than I think it could have been. Knight e4 would have been winning a piece. I didn't see that before I played my little blindfold tactico. Queen takes f7. I feel like I still have a decent idea of the position. He plays h3. What? Oh, I've already played h6. That's right. Okay. Rook e8. Attack the queen. Queen c2. Rook f8. Hit f2. Possibly. He moves over. I'm going to play b4. Attack the rook. If he moves... Queen e6. I feel like I don't have any time here. This is where it gets almost impossible. I'm gonna cheat. I want to win too bad. I don't want to lose all my games in today's video. I don't want to lose all my games. Is he gonna take it? Oh, I'm so competitive. I'm a loser. Why do I do that? Oh, I couldn't keep track of the pieces anymore. When you're in time scramble, I'm playing on a blank canvas here. All right, I'm an artist, but I'm no Van Gogh. All right, I'm no Monet. I'm no Picasso. I can't always paint a masterpiece on a blank canvas, everybody. So I gave in. I feel like I played a pretty good game, though. I feel like I mean, this was a Caro-Kann. Again, so bishop c4 is not a good move, by the way, in this line. This is theory up till then. And here I should maybe just take. and then play against the hanging pawns. This is just pretty simple, and black can put the knight on a5 and the rook on c8. That's probably better than what I did. Not that what I did wasn't any more than also just kind of equal. This was, oops, this was okay. Here he could have taken with the knight. That's what I was saying. And after bishop takes, taken here with the bishop, and I have to move the rook. It's probably still a little tricky, unclear, but that's what he should have done. I didn't see that till after I played a6 in my head. But again, then I continued to kind of feel okay about the position, playing against the isolated pawn up until here, and then I blundered. Knight e4, I'm pretty sure was just winning a piece. Gains a tempo on the queen, releasing the knight, and then he can take back. So one of the things about the blindfold is, you push yourself to be real focused, but you also tend to be impulsive because I'm sure where the pieces are. So as long as I know I'm right where the pieces are, I'll just make the move. But you don't take that next step you would do as a strong player, which is you don't just make a tactic because you see a tactic. You ask yourself what they're going to do next and make sure it works. So as you're struggling to keep track of the pieces, I think you tend to be a little more impulsive, and that's something I need to work on, really calculating, if and when I go there, what is my opponent's next move? What is my opponent's next move, So I survived and got out of it. Now I'm back to being better, I think. I wonder if I had more. Yeah, like 93, maybe. 93 looks like it might win the exchange, perhaps. No, he gets a whole lot of pieces for the queen, so no, not a good idea. But I wanted to do something with the knight, and I felt like I was still seeing the board as best as I could, but I was very nervous. I actually did see this trick, by the way, that I couldn't move the knight because of a double check. And now this is when I gave in, and I was still doing okay. I'm glad to see that I had a decent feel for the position, but I cheated, and I went to see the board, and here after takes, I think my combination was decently sound. Knight f2. I thought this might be okay. I don't know. Maybe I have nothing, actually, so maybe it was an unnecessary sack, huh? Either way, it was an interesting experiment today. I'm going to continue to work on these blindfold training sessions. A lot of people are out there, you're wondering, like, can I play the blindfold pieces? And you think it's a premium feature. It's not true. Just go into Live Chess and click on your settings. When you click on the settings tab, you can choose the pieces. They're called blindfold. I guess it doesn't show up on the screen capture, but the blindfold pieces in your piece style are right there. You just choose them, and then you can play blindfold. Practice blindfold with your friends. Practice blindfold on your own. Push yourself. Get better at chess, everybody. We can do it together. All right, I'll see you later.